Well, we've got quite a library here today for you of all different kinds of topics. First of all, I want to show you this book. It's called Nurses on Our Own. It was originally published as On Our Own by St. Martin's Press and then done in paperback by Avon. This is the book about Karon and Joy, young idealistic nurses on their own, through perilous adventures of establishing a private nursing practice and the dramatic court battle to regain their professional reputations after being fired by a powerful hospital. Here is the astonishing updated story of two women who defied the entire medical establishment. A story that mirrors the personal growth of many women in our time. It's a story for men and women. There's also stories in here about being police wives, the court case, and many other things, dealing with patients from lottery winners to very low-income neighborhoods. And a lot of excitement in here about old Chicago and the amusement park and different things. And guess who the author was? Me. So it's by Karon Gibson, Joy Smith-Catterson, and Patricia Skalka. You might want to get one for your favorite nurse because it's an entrepreneurial story too. The sequel to this is going to be Balloons and Band-Aids, but you'll have to wait for that to come out. But this has been out and available for a long time, Nurses on Our Own. So I want to introduce you to our co-host today. We have a lot of information to go through. We have Diane Meyer here co-hosting today, and she's been kind enough to look at some of these books as well as a product that we have that's very interesting, which we'll show you a little later. So Diane, do you want to start with the product? Maybe we should.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this Riviere is it's supposed to take the place of the blow dryer and the straightener. So typically people will have to have, time to 20 minutes or so to dry your hair, and then you have to then straighten your hair. So this product, this Riviere, what it does is it does it all at once. I'm going to turn it on. It's going to be noisy, but you just basically you stick your hair in it all the way to the root and then bring it down.
So this is for our curly-haired friends.
Curly-haired, I would imagine, it's a dryer, so it's going to straighten. So if you have straight hair anyway, it's just going to straighten, but it'll dry it in like half the time. And it works on a vacuum, so it doesn't do as much damage to the hair as a regular hair dryer would. Did you want me to show?
Please.
So just basically, you section out a piece of your hair, and then it goes all the way in, like that.
Oh, I see.
And you do it in you can do it in as little as 9 sections, and each one is only in this.
Do you section it out with something? How do you section it out?
Well,
they have clips?
You just have clips. I mean, you can just, take one section at a time.
Well, that's like a miracle for people who have very, very curly hair that say that they really don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just take one, and then you would do this, but it only takes about a minute. You can't leave it in more than 2 minutes, so a minute. So and you partition it about 9 locations, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're done. So you're done in 10 minutes.
It says blow your mind, not your hair. For more tips and tricks,
so
as well
10
as
minutes
the
you
latest.
get your hair done and straightened, and it doesn't cause damage like your, the long time use of your hair
Or
dryer.
putting chemicals on there, because a lot of people that have very curly or frizzy hair want to put chemicals on, and that would help it. This is called myrevair.com, MYREVAIR.com. I read some of the comments on the internet about it. People were saying it was like a miracle for them if they really had very curly or frizzy hair.
But to cut down the time, just the time alone.
It says never use it while sleeping. I don't know how you would. Household use only. If it's used by children with limited physical, sensory, or reasoning capabilities, close supervision is necessary. It's not a toy. Do not use as a vacuum cleaner or vacuuming purposes, such as picking up or collecting items. Do not insert anything into the wand or operate this outside or where oxygen is being administered. I guess you could have an explosion, so you want to avoid that. Yeah.
The one thing about this, there is a filter in here that after 5 times of using it, I suppose you would have to determine how much hair you have, but you need to empty the filter.
And I would say only use it after you wash your hair, so you're not.
Oh, you have
yeah.
to wash, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's something else there, a spray bottle or something?
Oh, this was just in the box, yeah. They just,
Okay.
you can put your own hairspray, or not hairspray, what would you call that? Like
Conditioner or no tangler or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so again, that's Revair, and it's a very nice thing according to the comments that are on the internet about it. Okay, let's go to our next thing, Brave New Medicine, a doctor's unconventional path to healing her autoimmune illness by Cynthia Lee, MD. In her spellbinding book, they say that we encountered the moving story of a physician struggling with her own autoimmune illness. Her writing is intimate and exacting. It cuts like a knife. She raises the fundamental questions about a future of medicine, her own future, about being a doctor and patient at the same time. They say millions of people worldwide are affected by autoimmune diseases. Some are common, like Hashimoto's thyroid. Others are mysterious, like chronic fatigue syndrome and dysautonia. Whether the latter are getting attention, patients are struggling with these ailments, often dismissed by their own doctors because they don't follow traditional checkbox of illness, and their symptoms can elude the standard testing. You know, I find that the more technology we have, the less diagnoses are made by doctors. And all the dealings that I've had with relatives and friends recently, it seems like they're coming up with less diagnosis than we used to see at grand rounds when we did grand rounds and had doctors just talking to doctors. Okay, it takes an intimate whirlwind journey who seemingly had it all until her health took an unexpected turn, leading her to question her medical training. It's honest and vulnerable as she describes her descent first into the autoimmune thyroid condition and then the mysterious symptoms that leave her housebound with no end in sight, and test after test. You'll have to read the book to find out what she had, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I know I'm going to. I haven't had a chance yet. Okay, the next thing we have is a product called Oregano. Feel it, soothe, and know how it works. This is actually when Stacy Ryan's son Billy returned home from skateboarding with a bruised ego and a skinned knee. Mom knew what to do. She reached in the medicine cabinet for a new patented, natural, safe wound healing ointment, Oregano. Contains a water-soluble extract of oregano plant. Don't make your own, by the way. Hippocrates, a physician in ancient Greece, did use oregano on the skin as an antiseptic to prevent infections. Unfortunately, over the years, this treatment fell out of favor as the essential oil frequently caused allergic contact dermatitis, precluding its use until now. In preparing the water-soluble oregano extract and oregano healing ointment, the essential oil is removed. However, scientific studies reveal the remaining extract retains oregano's powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant activity that actually speeds up wound healing. And they've done a double-blind study, I think, on it. Let's see, a randomized double-blind petroleum-controlled study evaluating efficacy. You know, because a lot of doctors won't use anything unless there's been a double-blind study on it. And it says after 70 years, bacitracin's good reputation is often changing because somebody had a compound fracture and decanted from the dirt, contained a wide, powerful antibiotic spectrum derived from Bacillus subtilis, hence its name bacitracin. The wartime physician and bacteriologist who discovered it screened samples of the civilians' contaminated wounds to identify bacteria and saw that the agar plate growth from this wound was particularly active. So they say that this oregano is a better thing to use. Bacitracin has had a harmless reputation changing. Numerous reports have found that an association between allergic contact dermatitis and bacitracin are continually increasing. So this is an alternative now, and it's spelled Oreganow, and it's oregano.com. So that's always good to know. They're telling us not to spray hydrogen peroxide on things now like we used to, which always seemed to work, but now they say it kills the good cells around it, so I don't know.
I thought that was after a certain amount of time. You know, it was good for a couple, 2-3 days, but then after that, it started to cause
I don't know. I always
problems.
saw it work. So things change. Okay, Workman Publishing also gave us this book, Keep Going, which is down here in
That's
front.
this one.
And you can see that. That's a blue book, Keep Going. 10 Ways to Stay Creative in Good Times and Bad. The world is crazy. We know that. It's upside down. Creative work is hard, and nothing is getting easier. The hard thing may not be developing creative ideas, but finding the drive to stay on course while living in an overbearing sense of uncertainty. The book, Keep Going, shares revolutionary advice on overcoming challenges and living a meaningful life, a guide to navigating the turbulent modern world with a quick style that hits greater truths beyond its pages. Okay, that's Keep On Going for those of you who don't want to. All right, our next one is Represent, and that's got a yellow cover, The Woman's Guide to Running for Office and Changing the World. A movement is building. Women across America are running for office, becoming increasingly politically engaged, and finding a powerful voice on the national stage. Let's see, the star of Grace and Frankie on Netflix and co-host of the popular How Did This Get Made podcast had these same questions when she herself thought of running for office. But try as she might, she couldn't find an accessible resource that would walk her through. So she decided to create one. She looked for a well-informed partner and found it in Kate Black, former chief of staff of Emily's List, who spent over a decade working in politics and campaigns. So now, if you want to run for office or you know somebody who does, there's a book that'll tell you. It says there, let's see, women hold just 28.7% of all the seats in the legislature. So good idea to read the book or get it for your political science student. The Emotion Code, how to release your trapped emotions for abundant health, love, and happiness. Well, Diane's very familiar with this, so I'm going to let her say for a moment what's in there.
The Emotion Code was a system developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson, which he found a simple way to release trapped emotions that are embedded in your subconscious programming. The theory that, it's not a theory, but that a child, show me the child at 7, I'll show you the man or woman at 27. Basically, that all our programming is done in those first 5 to 7 formative years. But with that, as we're downloading all of this information during that time frame, we're very susceptible to highs and lows with emotions, and being able.
It says it can cut off our ability to give and receive love.
Right. You could build heart walls, so you can take. You just threw me off.
I'm very good at that.
Anyway, so it's a process whereby you as the practitioner can delve into, by asking a series of questions into the person's subconscious programming, and then do an energetic release on it. It's very fast and painless, and it works wonders. So highly recommend finding somebody that can help you with this.
Okay. Now we've got to go to Beat Autoimmune, the 6 Keys to Reverse Your Condition and Reclaim Your Health by Palmer Capola. Wonderfully prescriptive, providing the reader with a powerful action to reverse and even prevent these issues. For the millions who suffer from an autoimmune disorder, which I think a lot of people have, shares the first step that helped her recover from nearly 3 decades with multiple sclerosis. Examine what you eat today. I notice right away that certain things that I eat make my knee ache immediately. While conventional Western medicine is well suited to treat acute conditions like broken bones, it's ill-matched to resolve your chronic health disorders. To fully heal, you must work at the root cause, not the symptom. Your doctor may be able to speed up your lifestyle factors that can lead to chronic disease. 6 ways to reverse it. Comprehensive guide to identifying and addressing the underlying triggers. I want to read this book. Mm-hmm. Very good.
Foods, infections, gut health, hormone imbalances, toxins, and stress.
Mm-hmm. I believe that. That's why this show started out. We did traditional medicine 20-some years ago, and then I went to alternative medicine for a lot of different things, because I think alternative and elective things can help you quite a bit.
They should call it ancient instead of alternative.
Oh yeah,
because
I guess so.
This has been around since for how long?
I just hit my microphone. I hope I didn't make a noise. All right, please come to my wedding. We all know that that love at first sight is real. The genius of Nicholas Boothman is to understand how and why it works and to teach you how to harness its power. He shows you how to recognize and attract your matched opposite, the person who will complete you, and quickly nurture feelings of love. At the core of this simple, valuable book, now completely updated to fully address online dating, dozens of simple verbal and nonverbal communication techniques to help you kindle the romance and accelerate intimacy. That's why this mail from readers so often begins, "Please come to my wedding." How to fall in love in 90 minutes. Packed with solid information, practical strategies, and wonderful tried and true stories. I believe in love at first sight. Do you believe in love at first sight?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
He also wrote a book on the bottom.
Best-selling author of How to Make People Like You.
Yeah.
In 90 seconds.
So not only,
90 seconds.
He's got a book on how to get people to like you, and now one how to fall in love.
Okay, good.
He's quite the guy.
Let's see what we got up here. Oh, I got a kick out of this one. Never make a mistake when someone else can make it for you. Never. 750 things you should never do. And let me tell you what some of them are, if I can read this at the same time. Never let editors edit the life out of your sentence. A good storyteller never lets the facts get in the way. Never let the facts get in the way of a good story. Never review the work of a friend. Never write down or up to people, but out of yourself. Never write naughty words. And don't use naughty words, it's not necessary. I added that. 751 things. Never worry about theory as long as the machinery does what it's supposed to do. Never worry about the bullet with your name on it. Instead, worry about the shrapnel addressed to the occupant. Very interesting. It's a cute book. It'd be a cute gift. Keep on going. Okay, now we've got another one. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a good story. I think this is The Shoe Fits. You want to hold that one
Okay.
up? If the Shoe Fits is a collection of 30 modern-day parables which are written to help convey spiritual truths to those who have ears to hear. Vanderbilt and Frederick have both used a number of stories over the years. We find there are few things better than a great story told to the right audience at the right time with a profound spiritual truth. Some stories paint a picture as big as life itself on the canvas of our mind. When we get the picture, we get the spiritual lesson conveyed by the story. He also points out that if the shoe fits to pastors and Bible teachers, there are many books in the marketplace which serve up stories and anecdotes as a resource for sermons and Bible lessons, but many fall short by not being clear on the spiritual application. Not everyone who reads them will know automatically how they can be applied. Some of the memorable parables include a boy, a vase, and a piece of candy, senior citizens, and a joyride, and strawberries and squash. I think I'm going to read that. It sounds very interesting. Okay, here's something we have a little different. This is called the Face Halo, the modern makeup remover, original white, non-toxic, reusable, recyclable face halo. So this is something I have not tried yet, but take my makeup off. Diane doesn't like to wear a lot of makeup, so, but it's necessary for me to do that. Okay, the miracle-minded manager. Oh, the origin of disease? No, we didn't. Go ahead.
This is written by a judge and a medical doctor, married teen. And basically, it goes into, much like these other ones, trying to find the root cause of the illness. In this particular book, so far what I've read, they're looking to microorganisms that are easily transmittable with a sneeze or a handshake or anything like that. But that can lay dormant and then all of a sudden manifest. In this book, I was learning that Alzheimer's was caused by a form of, I'm going to say the wrong.
Chlamydia?
Was it chlamydia?
I think it was.
Pneumonia or something like that. A very easily transmittable disease. When they get the individual on the proper antibiotic regimen, the amygdala plaques slow down and cease. So, real good read. I'm anxious to really delve into this one because I'm anxious to see what they have to say.
Is there any particular thing in here that we could say, let's see. Okay, azithromycin are effective against intracellular pathogens, can neutralize chlamydia, and keep the intracellular infection dormant and may stabilize plaque. Well, plaque, that's interesting to you, plaque. Oh, no, it might be plaque not on teeth, but on,
in
on
arteries,
arteries,
or
which improves
in the
in
brain.
vascular. Like I've been taking that nitric oxide lately because that's supposed to be, they did got all kinds of awards for the research in that, and that did bring my blood pressure down. So, Well, this has got a lot of interesting stuff. Patients are not told refractive surgery seldom works as intended. Surgeons are hoping the surgery will get close to the desired correction and reduce, but not eliminate the need for glasses without causing new visual problems, which are intolerable to the patient and cannot be corrected. Refractive surgery is not based on an accurate assessment of what is needed. The best the patient can hope for is to avoid a disaster in either eye and find happiness without glasses, despite permanent loss of quality of vision. Ongoing dry eye. I have to tell you about dry eye. There was a woman sitting in an eye doctor's office with me. She said she had tried everything that the doctors had prescribed, and she just didn't know what to do next. I said, take evening primrose oil, because I've taken it, I've given it to other people. It's an over-the-counter EPO, evening primrose oil, comes from a plant in Asia somewhere. The women take it and they don't go through menopause, and it also gets rid of dry eye. In most cases, yes. So I told that woman about it.
It's good for your skin too.
It is. Okay, now we have The Miracle-Minded Manager, a modern-day parable about how to apply A Course in Miracles in business. Jack McDonald, CEO of TypeGo, is stuck. His company's trapped in same old ways of doing business, and his direct reports are resistant to change. Feeling like he has hit a roadblock that he can't overcome, he turns to business consultant Jordan McKay, who has helped him through challenges. An intriguing parable about bringing more inspiration, more harmony, balance, and peace of mind to corporate culture. Miracle-Minded Manager offers insightful lessons on how to overcome fear and eliminate stress both at work and at home through a fictional narrative. Learn how to apply spiritual ideas of the Course in Miracles, discover practical meditation, and experience a transformational shift in thinking. Business executive, management consultant, and teacher of Course in Miracles brings 35 years of experience to this book. Looks good.
Awesome. Here's another.
We got one left here. No one sent me this. I bought this. When Smart People Work for Dumb Bosses, How to Survive in a Crazy and Dysfunctional Workplace. I know a lot of people think that they're smarter than their boss. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. The Landons have collected horror stories from many smart people who work in organizations where they are demeaned, yet they carry on working to save the company from itself. The result is an inspirational book. No final answers, but this lesson: the ethics of smart employees need to be emulated by a dumb boss. With a hands-on approach, it's bursting with valuable lessons learned and coping strategies for dealing with dumb bosses. Okay, just don't tell your boss you're reading this book, because the boss always wins. Remember that?
Said
I did that one already?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, mind easing, sorry. The 3-layered healing plan for anxiety and depression. Well, that's good. Mind easing offers a simple, powerful, and actionable healing plan that will help millions on their road to mental health wellness. An extraordinary book, it swiftly guides you to the core tasks that will rebuild your strength. It's time to stop being treated and start being healed. If you or someone you love struggles with anxiety or depression, you may wonder if there's a light at the end of the tunnel. With relying on medicines like Prozac and Xanax, help hinder your efforts to find a long-term solution. Mind easing answers this and much more with a revolutionary approach to healing that treats the cause of your distress and not your symptoms. How to identify and assist your mind's natural healing, how to recognize true anxiety and depression from some of the misconditions that mimic them, and how to understand the difference between soft or malleable anxiety and depression, or hard or biological, and how to heal from both kinds. Looks like this is by Health Communications. Mind Easing, 3-layered healing plan. You know, when I was interviewed for my book, Nurses on Our Own, I have to tell you, I was sometimes upset when we were on a tour about that. And because I felt that the host of the program did not know what the book said. And I was kind of upset about that until I realized that I had to say whatever about the book that I thought or wanted to get out to the people because of the fact that the host didn't know it and didn't know what to ask. But I found out, being a host, you can't read all these books. So now I'm not upset with them anymore. But remember my own book, because particularly one of my friends, Linda, said that this should be a book for men, women, everybody, because it has all kinds of obstacles and business things and health and stuff like that. So Nurses on Our Own is available, and it's been out a long time, so you can get it very inexpensively now. So Diane, what do you have to say about all these books?
Well, I'm excited to delve into a couple of them.
I know, and I know you love to research. You're the great researcher.
Yes, I do. And so I think I'm gonna hit up this one, The Origin of Disease.
And I want to hit up that Beat Autoimmune
This
and
one,
the Brave New Medicine. Because
this because it's her own story.
Right.
You know, I think and because she's a medical doctor that was literally on the couch
looking for options
with two young daughters at home, and no one could help her. So she became the difficult patient, you know, as a nurse. Oh, that's just a difficult patient. Yeah, no, it wasn't a difficult patient.
I never felt like that somebody was just difficult, because there's always such an underlying illness that's causing that, you know?
Right. So I'm anxious to see. Well,
and that, you know, that's the difference between caregivers at home. I sometimes feel really sorry for them because, you know, they get into fights and arguments, and they feel, you know, they're trying to take care of somebody, and it's very difficult because they never get to leave. They really need to leave and recognize that, because, you know, a nurse, even if we work 16, 24 hours a day, sometimes we still get to leave.
Right.
So it's very much different. So for the caregivers out there, don't feel guilty about taking some time for yourself. Insist that somebody else help you. And for those of you who are not getting married, you're single and haven't found anyone, this is a great book, How to Make Someone Fall in Love with You in 90 minutes. I don't know, I think you fall in love in 3 minutes if you're going to fall in love.
Yeah, I believe that.
It says you should wear clothes that fit. That's a very good idea. Make sure they aren't out of style. Wear a coordinated outfit. You know, I have a story to tell. I was invited to something because of the show where they invited women to come, and the men who were not there but had paid $10,000 to meet a woman, this is what they did. They invite women to the party, and then they put all their profiles on, and the men paid $10,000 and get to meet a woman. I then met a couple. I knew the woman, and she married this man, and he paid $10,000, but he found out he knew her before. He used to work with her years ago, and said, I wondered, you know, how I could ever marry a woman like that. He paid the $10,000 and re-met her, and they got married. So we'll do a show on that sometime, too.
Oh, that's fun.
We've got 1 minute left, and I just want to thank Diane Meyer for joining us. I know she loves books.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's some really interesting things here. So I hope you found them interesting too. And I want to thank you for joining us. I brought this calendar today of Norman Rockwell too. I think it's a really cute calendar. I happened to pick it up from the Anderson Nursing Home. And I guess we could dedicate this show to Mary LaRue, because it was at her wake that I was able to get this. And it's a very nice nursing home, and you could pick up a book there to pre-plan your own wake, an unfunded one if you want to. So, but I want to end the show with a very positive thing, is I hope you get to read all these books, and thank you, Diane, for joining us, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.